spending with us would be worthwhile. We are still going to continue to improve our interface with you. For now, I know that you are only able to get our audio, and we are working on ensuring that you get our video in time. I'll take this moment then to introduce the members of the energy regulator that's sitting in today. And I will start with our deputy chairperson, Ms. Zandile Mpungose, who is the deputy chairperson of the NESA board, as well as the chairperson of the HRRC. Ms. Mpungose.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning, everyone, and also the members of the public who are on live streaming. And thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mpungose. The next member of the energy regulator sitting today, I will come to the Advocate Sithole, Nomalanga Sithole, who is the CEO of NESA, as well as the chairperson of the Regulator Executive Committee. Advocate Sithole.
Good morning, Chairperson, members, and our stakeholders who have joined us on this particular platform. Thank you.
Thank you. The next member sitting is Ms. Precious Sibiya, who is the chairperson of our Audit and Risk Committee and also a member of the Petroleum Pipelines Subcommittee. Ms. Sibiya.
Good morning, everyone on the call. Good morning, Chair. Good morning to the members of the public. Thank you.
Thank you. I will then come to Ms. Nomfundo Maseti, who's the regulator member primarily responsible for pipe gas regulation at NESA. Ms. Maseti.
Good morning, Chairperson, and good morning to the members of the public who are following our proceedings today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Tembeka Simane, who is the chairperson of the Finance Committee and also a member of the Electricity Regulation, Electricity Subcommittee. Ms. Simane.
Morning, Chair, morning, colleagues, and morning to the public. My name is Tembeka Simane, as you've already introduced me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Simane. Next, we have Mr. Nhlanhla Gumede, who's a regulator member primarily responsible for electricity regulation at NESA. Mr. Gumede.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning, members. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning to the members of the public.
Thank you, Mr. Gumede. Next, we have Mr. Muzi Mkhize, who is the regulator member primarily responsible for pipe gas, for petroleum pipelines at NESA. Mr. Mkhize.
Good morning, Chairperson. Good morning to all the attendees to this meeting, and good morning to all those that are following us through the various live streaming platforms. Thank you.
Thank you. And our last member is Mr. Fungai Sibanda, who is the chairperson of the IT Governance Committee. Mr. Sibanda.
Good morning to everyone who's part of the.
Thank you, Mr. Sibanda. Members of the public, those are all our regulator members. We are now going to come to the agenda. We have an agenda that has been published, and we are going to adopt this agenda. But before we adopt it, I want to inform you that we have been requested by the member responsible for petroleum pipelines that if we could start with this item. So we are going to start item number 6 with 5. And we will also, in our meeting, include an item that may have been part of the published agenda, but was not shown as that it will be in the open meeting. And it would be a report on the electricity price determination methodology rules that will be then had after item number 7 of our agenda. May I request colleagues, if you could raise your hands to indicate if you are approving this agenda. Got Mr. Gumede, Ms. Mpungose, Ms. Simane, Mr. Mkhize, Advocate Sithole, and Ms. Sibiya.
I approve, Chairperson. I'm able to raise my hand.
Maseti, thank you. And Mr. Sibanda, thank you. We have all 8 regulator members that have approved the agenda. Thank you. In that case, then we are going to move straight on to our new item number 5 now, which is 5.1, the report from the chairperson of the Petroleum Pipeline Subcommittee, Mr. Mkhize. Please take us through, Mr. Mkhize. Apologies, members. I think there's a part that I skipped, the declaration of interest. May I request that the members, if they have any interest to declare verbally, they can do so now. Otherwise, if they may go ahead and sign the declaration of interest forms that are on convene. Anyone with a verbal declaration? None? We'll assume that all of the members will sign on that. Mr. Mkiza, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairperson. Got to present here on the Island View Storage Pty Limited's application for the first amendment to its license that was issued for the operation of storage facility and loading facilities in Richards Bay, KwaZulu-Natal province. This license, which is a combined license, was issued by the Energy Regulator on the 6th of March 2018. And now they are seeking to amend this license by way of one is a change the product allocation to its cryogenic tank, which is tank PR1, from liquefied petroleum gas LPG to butane. Two is the inclusion of 3 existing tanks for the storage of butane with a combined capacity of 12,000 cubic meters, as well as the inclusion of 9 tanks which are currently under construction, with a construction plan to be completed by the end of June, which is the end of this weekend, for the storage of heavy fuel oil, HFO for short. They've got a combined design of 27,900 cubic meters. So these are the 12 tanks. And then the inclusion of marine loading facilities with auxiliary pipeline for handling heavy fuel oil, and as well as also the inclusion of a new site layout, which shows the details of the storage facility. The overall details are provided in the submission. I will take the submission as read and note that this matter was presented to the Petroleum Pipelines Committee on the 5th of June, and the comments are under 6.1. Those deliberations, 6.1 on the table there. I will also take them as read, and move on to the recommendation, which is on page 11 of 33 under 14.1, where it is recommended that the Energy Regulator considers and approves the first amendment of the conditions of the combined license issued to Bidvest tank terminals for the operation of a storage facility and loading facilities in Richards Bay by 1, changing product allocation of tank PR1 from the storage of liquefied petroleum gas to the storage of only butane. 2, adding 12 storage tanks, 3 for butane and 9 for heavy fuel oil, with a combined design capacity of 39,900 cubic meters into the license conditions. And 3, adding the details of marine loading facilities with auxiliary pipeline for handling of heavy fuel oil. And then lastly, that the Energy Regulator considers and approves the decision and reasons for decision document, which is attached as Annexure A, with an addendum to thereof being the license conditions. I stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkiza. Members, we have a submission in front of us, and we have recommendations on 14.1. May I see by you raising your hands if you have any questions, comments, enhancements? There are no hands that have been raised, so I take it that members are aligned with the recommendations that have been read out by Mr. Mkiza. May I then request if you could indicate by raising your hands if you are approving the recommendations listed under paragraph 14. I've got Ms. Simane, Mr. Mkiza, Mr. Gumede, Advocate Zitole, Ms. Beer, Ms. Banda, and Mr. Mkiza, and Ms. Mbungose. So
I support that.
And Ms. Masetti. Thank you. we have this decision of the energy regulator approved as recommended. Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Mr. Mkhize, can you take us to item 6.2?
Thanks, Chairperson. Item 6.2 entails the minutes of the meeting of the Petroleum Pipeline Subcommittee, which is meeting number 184 of the 10th of April 2024. I would stand ready to take questions, if any. I would not necessarily highlight a specific item or issue emanating from those minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Members of the Energy Regulator, any questions, comments, or points to be clarified on these minutes? There are no hands that have been raised. May I then request if you could indicate by raising your hands if you are approving or noting, happy to note these minutes. Got Ms. Mbungose, Mr. Mane, Mr. Bia, Mr. Kumede, Mr. Mkhize, Advocate Stole, Mr. Sbanda, and Ms. Maseti. Yeah, I saw your hand, Ms. Maseti. Thank you. The minutes are noted as such. Members and colleagues, we are now going to go back to the regional item number 5, which was done, which is the report of the Electricity Subcommittee, which is going to be done by the regulator member primarily responsible for electricity regulations, Mr. Nhlanhla Kumete. Mr. Kumete, please take us through 5.1.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good morning again. Firstly, just want to thank Madam Maseti, who stood in for me during my annual leave. But starting with item 5.1, which is the report of the Chairperson of the Electricity Subcommittee, which deals with the purpose of the submission is to request the Energy Regulator to approve the RFD document, which is attached as Annexure A on the assignment of Eskom's rights and obligations under Section 34, power purchase agreements concluded with the IPPs, that is, those rights to be transferred to the National Transmission Company of South Africa, in short, NTCSA. Just by way of background, on the 21st of December 2023, Eskom applied to NERSA for consent to cede or assign its powers and duties under Section 34 of the Act, the Electricity Regulation Act, that PPAs concluded with the IPPs be transferred from Eskom to NTCSA as part of the Eskom unbundling process. More precisely, it was the requirement that NTCSA takes over the buyer role for the Section 34 IPPs. On the 8th of March 2024, the Electricity Subcommittee recommended to the Energy Regulator to consider the Eskom application, and on the 11th of March, at a special Energy Regulator meeting, the Energy Regulator deliberated on the recommendation of the ELS and resolved to approve that the powers and duties of Eskom Eskom Holding SOC Limited be transferred over, be assigned to the to the NTCSA, and Eskom, and approved also that Eskom request that the NTCSA be issued a cost recovery letter. However, ERDA did not approve the RFD and returned it with comments for enhancement. On the 4th of June 2024, the ELS recommended that the Energy Regulator approve the enhanced RFD on the assignment of Eskom's rights and obligation under Section 34 to the NTCSA. Chair, there were no further enhancements at the said ELS of the 4th of June, and therefore it is recommended that the Energy Regulator approves the reasons for decision document, which is attached here to as Annexure A, on the assignment of Eskom's rights and obligation under Section 34 power purchase agreement concluded with the IPPs to the National Transmission Company of South Africa, NTCSA. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kumede. Members of the Energy Regulator, any questions, comments, points to be clarified? There are no hands that have been raised, so may I then take you to paragraph number 6 on page 3 on the recommendations as read out by Mr. Gumede. Please indicate by raising your hand if you are approving that recommendation. Got Mr. Mkhize, Mr. Mane, Mr. Beer, Mr. Gumede, Mr. Mbungose, Mr. Sibanda, and Advocate Sithole. Ms. Maseti, I confirm?
Yes, Chairperson.
Thank you. We have a decision as indicated in paragraph 6. May I then ask you, Mr. Gumede, to take us to 5.2?
Thanks, Chairperson. I'm hoping that this item appears better for other members on convene. On mine, it didn't show all of the pages. But anyway, I am going to present some of the issues that may have been missed on the missing pages on convene. Well, hopefully in other convene, in other documents, it actually appeared. In essence, Chair, we are here to basically, this again is that report of the chairperson of the Electricity Subcommittee. It's to present, really just the purpose of this is to request the energy regulator to approve the issuance of generation licenses for the operation of generation facilities utilizing battery energy storage technology to Oasis Agnes, Oasis Mukodi, Oasis Nieve Whoop, and Mohope Bears. Those are all of those companies are PTY Limited. And to approve the capital recovery charge rate that is used to calculate the tariff in the power purchase agreements between each preferred bidder and the NTCSA and National Transmission Company of South Africa, as reflected in table 1 below. I'll read that table when I read the actual recommendation, and to approve the draft decisions and draft reasons for and draft decisions and the draft reasons for decisions documents, which are attached here to as annexures B, C, D, and E. By way of background, the application for the generation license for the operation of generation facilities utilizing battery energy storage technology submission for the entities that have been mentioned was considered by the Electricity Subcommittee on the 4th of June 2024 and recommended for approval. Table 3 shows the substations where the storage facilities would be established, and those are going to be in Agnes with a maximum capacity of 77 megawatts, in Ferrum with a maximum capacity of 103 megawatts, Haruna with a capacity of 153 megawatts, Muokodi with a capacity of 77, Nieve Whoop with a capacity of 103, totaling a capacity of 513. The facility must be capable, the condition of the issuance of the license, that the facility must be able to operate continuously for a minimum of 4 hours for each cycle. The final evaluation of the bids was based on a 90% bid price and 10% economic development commitments. The 4 applicants were analyzed and were found to be in compliance with the license requirements as per the provisions of ERA. No objections were received from applicants when the applicants advertised their applications, nor when NESA placed an advert for public hearings. Under deliberations, the Electricity Subcommittee recommended the submission subject to the enhancements and clarifications that are captured under Table 4, which were relating largely to jobs, the jobs that were created in the communities in which they're going to be implemented, and also whether the jobs were permanent or temporary. It is recommended, Chairperson, that the recommendations are on paragraph 6.1, and the recommendation is that the energy regulator approves the issuance of the generation licenses for operations of generation facilities utilizing battery energy storage technology to Oasis, Agnes RFPTY Limited, Oasis Mokodi RFPTY Limited, Oasis Nieve Wop RFPTY Limited, and Mohope Bez RFPTY Limited. And then 2, to approve the capital recovery charge rates that is used to calculate the tariff in the power purchase agreements between each preferred bidder and the NTCSA as reflected in Table 2. And maybe I've read those onto the record in terms of Table 2 for project number 1, Oasis Achenes, with a capacity of 77 megawatts. The capital recovery charge rate is presented in rand per megawatt. Per megawatt hour is 443.62. Mohope as well. The capital cost recovery charge rate would be 408 rands, 408 rands 29 cents per megawatt hour. Oasis Nieve Wop with a capacity of 103. The capital cost recovery charge rate is 409 rand and 6 cents per megawatt hour. And then number 3, the third, is to approve the decision and the draft reasons for decisions, which are attached here to as annexures B, C, and D. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Gumede. Members, we have a submission on the generation license applications. Any questions, comments, enhancements? I see no hands, members. May I then take you to the recommendations on paragraph 6? As Mr. Smanda, sorry, I see your hand is up.
Sorry, Chair, I didn't got in hand.
Okay, thank you. Members, in that case, may I take you to the recommendations as read out by Mr. Gumede? Please raise your hand to indicate that we are approving those recommendations. I've got Mr. Gumede, Mr. Bia, Advocate Sitole, Mr. Smanda, Ms. Maseti, and Mr. Mkize, and Ms. Mbungose. Thank you. We have the submission approved. Mr. Gumede, the next item is really 5.3, the minutes.
Thank you, Chairperson. As indicated, the item 5.3 are the minutes of the Electricity Subcommittee meeting number 200.
accept that the questions have been asked. We are going to create an environment that is conducive to responding to those questions, but not in the open meeting. Mr. Chogwe, and then Faye.
Chairperson, sorry. Sorry, Chairperson,
Yes.
to cut in. We just have an emerging challenge. There is a problem with our network in the office, so it is affecting our streaming. ESCOM has phoned our IT department to request if they can be allowed into the meeting. I, on the cuff, indicated that we would provide a recording if needs be, but Chairperson, this is something that needs the members to decide on this one. I can't make that decision or that call, but that is the situation.
Thank you, Faye. I think at this point in time, yes, our network has failed, and I think that we will find a proper way of providing members with or members of the public with the record of the meeting. But I now have a lot of hands that have come up, and I'm not sure if they are still dealing with this issue. Mr. Chogwe, you had your hand up. Then I'm going to come to Ms. Simane, Mr. Mkhize, and Mr. Totem.
Chairperson, thanks. Ms. Maseti has taken words out of my mouth, Chairperson. I have nothing to say except that indeed Ms. Maseti didn't mention the legal opinion. Actually, she just said there are governance reasons that have made ER to rescind the decision. Those reasons can be discussed in this meeting. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Choga. Mr. Mkhize, I think we need to come back, have a ruling on how we are going to respond to the 4 questions that have relevance to these submissions to Mr. Mkhize, to Mr. Gumede. Mr. Mkhize?
Thanks, Chairperson. It is my considered view that most of the issues can be dealt with in the under governance, and we look at the submission as read, and then maybe take a decision thereon to note, and then or approve, and then we proceed. And my understanding is that I saw on the chat that the problem that Madam Ngube was talking about has since been sorted out. So it shouldn't be a concern, the issue of recording. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mkhize. Mr. Mkhize, may I then bring the meeting back to that? We have 4 questions that have been asked, and the committee is the legal counsel and the members are recommending that be dealt with under governance. So we're going to deal with the response to your questions, Mr. Gumede, under governance, and I have the 4 questions. I think the others have indicated that I don't see their relevance to what we are discussing at the moment, and a lot of them have to be dealt with by the electricity department anyway. So if I may just bring you back to the recommendations, they are on page 3 of 142. The first recommendation is 6.1. And Ms. Maseti didn't read it in the record as like this, so I'm going to read it as such, and I will ask for members, each one as we go through them. So 6.1 is to note the analysis of the legal opinion by senior counsel on the EPDR.
Sorry, Chairperson, that's the one that I skipped deliberately. It has to be deleted, Chairperson.
Okay.
Yes, Chair.
Members,
that one is deleted, Chair.
Yeah, it's deleted. So we are going to go to 6.2 then, members. Approve the rescission of the decision taken on the 14th of December 2023 to approve the IPDR. The decision of the 14th of December is attached as Annex D. So I'm asking for you, if you could indicate by raising your hand if you are approving or not approving 6.2. I've got Ms. Maseti, Ms. Simane, Ms. Mbungose, Advocate Sitole, Ms. Sibia, and Mr. Mkhize. Faye, please record. We have the decision of Mr. Spanda, yeah, of the 7 members. Mr. Gumede, would you like us to note your are you abstaining, or must we note that you are not approving?
Please note that I'm not approving, Chair.
Okay, Faye, please note as such that Mr. Gumede did not approve. And 6.3 is that we approve that a plan on an urgent basis be developed with regard to clarifying the approach in the processing and evaluating of future revenue and tariff applications. By show of hands, colleagues, if you are approving that. Good, Ms. Maseti, Ms. Mpungose, Mr. Mkize, Ms. Simane, Advocate Stolle, Ms. Bia, and Mr. Sbanda. Thank you. Mr. Gumede, and we note again, you are abstaining or you are not approving.
I'm abstaining on this one.
Okay, please note it as such, FA. And then 6. I think you will renumber, FA, but I'm reading them as they are, which will be 6.4. I'm sure we'll change it to 6.3, that we approve that a communication strategy be developed to communicate the decision to rescind the decision taken on the 14th of December to approve the EPDR. The communication strategy is attached as Annex E. Colleagues, please indicate by raising your hand if you are approving item 6.3. I've got Ms. Advocate Zitole, Mr. Sbanda, Ms. Mpungose, Ms. Maseti, Ms. Bia, Ms. Simane. Don't see your hand. I've got Ms. Simane. Thank you. Mr. Gumede, please record your voting.
I'm abstaining again.
Mr. Gumede is abstaining. Thank you. Colleagues, we have this was the last matter that was on the open agenda, and I'm then requesting that what we are going to do then, we are going to then go back to our closed meeting where we'll deal with the questions that have been raised by Mr. Gumede. I will still keep it as that 9.1 as we have in the agenda. Mr. Mkize, your hand is up. Mr. Mkize. Oh, thank you.
Hand.
All right. In that case, colleagues, I think we have now come to the end of the open meeting. May I thank the members of the public who had joined us, and may I apologize for the glitch in the communication, but as indicated, it has been resolved, and I think that Mr. Ngube has indicated that in the parts that were missed, I think we will provide the record of the meeting, which would have been available to you anyway because you had logged into the meeting. Thank you for your time, and as I had said, we are going to continue improving, and I'm sure next time we will have additional improvements that would make you feel like you are part of the meeting as it used to be in the past when it was an open meeting.